Welcome to a new episode of TTG Conversations 5 Questions video series. I'm Karen Yu, Group Editor of TTG Asia Media. In this episode, we will be looking at advancements in identity management for cross-border mobility. Taking us through this topic is Jasie Fon, Regional Vice President of Asia with Ping Identity. Ping Identity is a software company that specializes in identity management solutions. It's great having you here, Jasie.
It's great to have you, and thank you so much for inviting me, Karen.
I've got 5 questions for you, and here's the first. More airports are implementing passportless immigration clearance, and one such facility is very close to home in Singapore Changi Airport. Based on your observations, how is passportless travel taking root in Asia, and how is this benefiting cross-border mobility in our region?
Yeah, Asia, basically led by Singapore Changi Airport, is pioneering passportless immigration clearance using facial and iris biometrics for seamless travel from September 2024. And I think personally, as a frequent traveler, I've also seen that it has really helped improve the flow of traffic in a very busy Changi Airport, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, the region has also seen other airports like in Japan, in Malaysia, or even in Jakarta, where I frequently travel to. You've seen there's a lot more extra usage of biometrics and automated border process, border technology. Although not passportless yet, but you can see that it's actually moving ahead towards passportless over time. By looking at that, right, you can see the benefits that it bring in from here is the fact that it can improve efficiency gain for the travelers, right? Biometrics and passportless systems have dramatically improved efficiency. Changi Airport, for example, basically shows that they have cut down the average immigration clearance time by 60%, from 25 seconds to 10 seconds. And as a regular business traveler, I myself feel that it will change the way we travel, right? Because you now know that you can plan for shorter buffer for the day in airport and have more time for productivity use when you do your traveling as well. And at the same time, we also see that it really helped to boost cross-border mobility and regional integration. For example, we know in Singapore, between Singapore and in JB or Johor Bahru, you see that we can use passportless travel, right? Where there is a usage of in the checkpoint between Singapore and JB land checkpoint, you can actually use QR code without even needing to show the passport, and it did start since this year. So this will actually help to improve the cross-border mobility significantly. Yeah.
Especially in crowd management.
Exactly. And you just imagine that, you feel that your time is much better used for other purpose, whether it's about tourism purpose when you go cross over to the to another country or anything else, right? Rather than being stuck and lying waiting to clear the clearance, clear the immigration.
Yeah. Good. Now the world is not yet able to retire our passport because there's still many passports, rather there are many airports still relying on legacy immigration clearance systems. But do you think the presence of more passportless immigration clearance adoption will help to speed up global implementation?
Yes, I think so. They basically set a precedent for others to follow, right? So when travelers experience seamless, secure, and efficient border crossing in one part of the world, it raises expectations everywhere else. People travel so much, right? They tend to compare. And this creates a lot of pressure on other airports and even the government to modernize their systems because it's about the brand, right? The brand of the country. It starts from the point where people cross go to the airport and cross the border. And we're also seeing that in certain areas, like for example, in European Union, they are already planning to implement the entry exit system, they call it EES, starting late 2025. And we've also seen initiatives such as the International Civil Aviation Organization's digital travel credential, they call it DTC for short, that aim to standardize digital travel documents, facilitating interoperability between countries and simplifying the whole adoption process.
But Jasie, there's some public pushback against passportless system, with concerns stemming from, mostly security and data privacy. In simple terms, what sort of systems are in place to protect digital identities in travel processes?
Yeah, I understand, right? But some of the systems that we have seen in place to protect digital identities in travel processes include, number one, we saw the biometrics passport really using basic access control and passive authenticated connection establishment, which is in short called PACE, to encrypt data and verify that no unauthorized changes have been made. And this is made mandated by the International Civil Aviation Organization and adopted by many governments already. And secondly, we also see that the US Department of Homeland Security requires e-passports to include digital photographs and security features that prevent unauthorized reading, or we call it skimming of stored data. The UK government also enforced a strict legal frameworks such as immigration regulations from 2008 to regulate the collections and storage and use of biometrics information for immigration purposes. I think a lot of it is the trust aspect, right? More you see countries adopting, developed countries adopting, the rest of the countries will follow through.
Good point, good point. Okay, and what new innovations are there in identity fraud prevention, and how do they impact travel tech adoption?
Yeah, fraud is no longer a side concern for travel, right? It's a front-end matter, like airlines, hotels, online travel agency manage billions in transactions, right? Daily transaction. The industry has become a prime target for cybercrime, not just the financial or the government or a healthcare institution. So identity theft, loyalty points theft, and booking theft are getting very common, and people worry a lot about fraud. And as a result of that, you also know that there's a lot more fraud that comes from AI, right? So for example, AI liveness detection is a security measure and used in identity verification to ensure that the user interacting with the system is a real person, is a live person, not a photo, not a video, or not even deepfake, right? We all hear and fear a lot about deepfake. It helps to prevent fraud by analyzing the indicators of life, like facial movements, distinguish between a real person and a synthetic representation. One thing that I think is very relevant from a travel industry perspective is what we typically call impossible travel. Basically, it means, I'll give you an example, right? AI basically will be able to detect impossible travel. For example, you can detect that Jasie has just checked in, in Dubai airport, for example, right? And within the next 10 minutes, Jasie log in again to the application. I'm taking the example of it being in an airline, right? So I check in and I'm in the Dubai airport right now, and 10 minutes later, Jasie Fon check in again to the portal on my mobile, and this time I'm showing that I am in US, for example, within 10 minutes. That's impossible travel. AI tag and then tell the airline, the company that, hey, you know what? Make sure you throw out a second authentication. Is this truly Jasie, or is it a bot doing something at the back? So that will help to protect the interests of the airlines and also the user, myself, right? That Jasie will not be represented by a bot somewhere else. These are the things, that really will help impact and improve, travel,
Travel tech adoption, yeah.
travel tech adoption, yes.
Okay. Now, besides airports, are there opportunities for other travel organizations and facilities to also adopt decentralized identity and passportless authentication to speed up and simplify the customer processing? Can you cite some examples of such adoption?
Yeah, sure. There are significant opportunities for travel companies outside of the airports, right? As I mentioned earlier, airlines or hotel or agencies or car rental. A lot of these companies, they have loyalty program, and then what we want them to do is to be able to adopt a decentralized identity and passwordless authentication. Today, we all know, people always forget their password, and password is the highest risk, of fraud, basically, the entry to your identity usually comes with password, So this technology can really dramatically speed up and simplify your customer processing across all travel ecosystem. Right, some examples of adoption includes, we call it the known traveler digital identity, where this blockchain-based initiative piloted in collaboration with governments and also Marriott International enable secure real-time sharing of identity data across travel partners. It is designed to optimize processing at immigrations and security channels, and is being explored in Asia, including even in Singapore, right? So this is just one of the example. The other example I can think of is CrisPay by Singapore Airlines. CrisPay is also a blockchain-based digital wallet that allows flyer members to convert your air miles into digital currency, and then you can use it at different merchants, right? Well, it is a loyalty solution, but it basically can demonstrate how blockchain and decentralized identity can really streamline your customer engagement and experience and authentication in travel.
Okay, thank you, Jasie, for bringing us into that different sphere of identity management in travel. Thank you so much. I've learned quite a bit from you. That's all the questions I have for you, Jasie.
Thank you so much, Karen. I hope it's helpful. Thank you.
Past and future episodes of TTG Conversations, 5 questions, can be found on the TTG YouTube channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.